Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Justin with the Millennial Mixtape, back again with another album reaction review, impressions? I don't know what to call it. Anyway, today we're checking out Dua Lipa's second LP, Future Nostalgia. This is a follow-up to her 2017 release called Dua Lipa. Let's see if this is something that's worth your time. Join me after the break. Thanks for tuning back in. So today, as I said, we're talking about Dua Lipa's latest release, Future Nostalgia, or as I like to call her, Dual IPA. No, anyway. So with this album, Dua Lipa has taken a progression from her sound on Dua Lipa. With that album, it was more of dance hall, pop, R&B influence, which was good. It was fine. With this album, she's kind of gone into the direction of pseudo 70s disco electropop. Does it work for her? Yes and no. So with her first album, you could really get a sense of how strong her vocals actually were. You could get a sense of what her abilities were. And songs like Lost in Your Light with Miguel, Hotter Than Hell, Thinking About You, with those songs, you could really tell that she had power behind her voice and that she was able to project and make things happen with her voice. With this album, not so much. So with this prevalence of 70s influence, if you think like Harry Styles' latest release, it's a fine sound. It's not that long lasting, and it doesn't provide singers usually the opportunity they need to show how strong they are vocally. So if we're looking at this album, there's a couple spots where she's able to shine, and I'll talk about those later, but specifically a song like Hallucinate. With Hallucinate, when I listened through it a few times, I was able to recognize the reason I enjoyed it was because it was so similar to the first album. On Hallucinate, she was able to really belt and let her voice carry and do things that she can't do in the other songs. With this 70s disco sound, it's also flat, right? So with this resurgence of it, and we have 21st century production values, which are nice. Like, it sounds really good. It sounds really good. But musically, it's not that great. Like, the trade-off for me isn't worth it. So we're hearing everything better, but it doesn't really do much. There's no dynamics in what's going on. So there's no hills and valleys. It's all just kind of right here. And the problem with that is Dua Lipa can sing, but you don't know that if this is all you listen to. Now, vocally and lyrically, I'm getting a sense of Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. There's a playfulness to it. She's having fun singing the songs, but it's not as creative or subtle as Katy Perry's Teenage Dream, and I say subtle with the full understanding that there were songs on Teenage Dream called Peacock, and another song where she says, "You're such a dirty doggy, you want to pet my kitty." So if that's subtlety, we're not getting that here, and it almost feels bland by comparison because it's just putting it out there. And I mean, that's fine. Like, no one's asking her to be like the next Casey Musgraves or, you know, Scott Hutchinson, but like there could be something more. There could be a little bit more to it. And so, I don't know, it kind of leaves me in a weird spot. Like, it's fine as filler, but it's not something I'm going to listen to and want to dive deep into. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you want from this album. Now, there were some spots with Future Nostalgia that I felt like it kind of broke from the mold a little bit. And on further listening, I realized it's because they were either taking samples from songs I know and enjoy or using parts from songs that sound almost exactly identical. So for instance, there's a song called Love Again, and on Love Again there's a sample that you'll hear that is an old song. It's called My Woman by Lou Stone and the Monsignor Band, but it was used again in the late 90s by Whitehall on the song Your Woman. So when you hear this song, you'll immediately know, like, oh, I know that song from somewhere. And then there's another riff, and I had to listen to it a couple of times, on the song Break My Heart. So with Break My Heart, the guitar riff is almost exactly like INXS's Need You Tonight. right? So when you listen to that song, let me know if you hear it too, and kind of compare the two and tell me in the comments what you think. So again, the production values are good, but with this sound, I just don't know what the longevity of it is. Now, I will say her voice sounds very good here. Like, her voice is very well adjusted to the sounds that are coming out of this album, but just I worry about the longevity of it. Like, is this going to be something that people just put on a couple times and then they're done with it, or something that they'll listen to more? I feel like with this album, it's going to be one of those that you can put on when you're getting in the pool and like swimming around or dancing around your kitchen while you're cooking dinner or something. And if that's what she's going for, then great. I mean, she nailed it. This is great for that. But like, there's not really any depth to it. There's not really anything that makes me want to continue listening past my initial few listens. So I don't know. Now, with this album, she's released 2 singles. She released Don't Start Now, which was a bop, or lit AF, or banger. What do you kids call it? I don't know. Anyway, so whatever you want to call it, Don't Start Now was great. I loved that song. And then she had Physical, and with Physical, you get more of a sense of what was to come in the album. And Physical's a fine song too. It was a fine single to release. But it's almost like we have the problem we have with modern movies. So we're getting a sense of everything that's in the movie from the trailer. Like, we're getting all the action bits from the trailer, and then when we get there, it's just filler. And that's what this is. This is just filler. Again, it's, you put it on when you're going swimming or cooking dinner to have some noise in the background, but then there's nothing else that this album has to offer. So, final thoughts. If I were to give this album a rating, like 1 to 5, 1 is the worst, 5 is the best, I'd say like a 2.5. I feel like people are just gonna leave disappointed. They heard Don't Start Now, they heard Physical, they're like, oh, I like what's going on here. They put this on and it's all just noise. So, I don't know. Sorry, Dua Lipa. Alright, well, that will do it for me. I'm Justin with the Millennial Mixtape. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the content I'm putting out, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out, and hit the bell thing when you see it. That way you're notified of any new videos I come out with in the future. So, again, this was our reaction review impressions of Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. Until next time, stay safe, stay well.